Hello to everyone who is watching this on YouTube. It is Jordan Mustang 87 here, back once again for the start of another all-new Let's Play. And now I've decided that next game I'm going to do a playthrough of is this. Need for Speed High Stakes. Or, if you are playing the European version, in other words the PAL version, like me, you know this as Need for Speed Road Challenge, or if you're playing Japan's version of the game, it is known as OverDrivin'IV. No G. Although whenever I seem to think of the No G reference, I immediately think of Steve Wright. The radio presenter, Steve Wright, to be more specific. But whatever, that's a story for another time. So we've got this help guide here, as of which it pretty much tells us what to do. So, using the arrow keys we can obviously move our options on the display screens, and of course if we press the start button it will just advance us, and if I just press X it will also advance us into that set area. So I think the first area I'm going to start with, first of all, as well. I know this is probably going to be loud, so I'm not going to have the music up too high. I'm also going to turn down the sound effects a bit to about 40%. That should probably do it. Yeah. I'm also going to do the same for the engine sound effects, and I'm also going to turn down the speech.
You've got a top time for this track.
See, can I get it to 50?
Congratulations!
Yes.
You've got a top time for this track.
And think for the ambient. Oh, missed it. Come on. There we go. Okay. And we also get CD player as well, which I'm going to assume refers to race music. We also get audio mode as well. Of course I'm going to stick with Dolby because, well, Dolby has surround sound. So that's pretty much tweaking the audio now done and dusted. Just going to have a look through the display screen. Yep, everything seems normal. Speedometer local, yes. I'm also going to put this to miles per hour just because, well, I prefer imperial units over metric units. Display map, yes. Opponent ID, yes. Lap time on. Race leader, yes. Split display, yes. That's all arranged the way it should be. And I'm also going to move on to controller because, well, I know the early Need for Speed games do have different configurations. And, well, I'm going to go to configuration C just because I think it's the easiest for me to understand, and also because, well, I like using L2 to shift down and R2 to shift up. And also because, well, for someone who does like playing a lot of classic PlayStation games, we also get shock effects and shock impact. I'm also going to turn that down a bit just so it's not rattling me too much whilst I'm sitting in my chair. Okay, that all seems appropriate. So going with configuration C. And also going to have a look through everything else as well. Well, except for the memory card and the username. But just going to go to username, and we get a total of 7 characters we can put in here. Of course, for the user ID I'm going to use my first name, which to those of you who have been watching long enough, you would of course know that my first name is Jordan. Almost like the model Jordan and also the country Jordan in a way. And also the football player Jordan Pickford. who I have absolutely no relation to in any way, shape or form whatsoever. Anyways, go into memory card, and I'm also just going to save my setup just so in case if anything does happen. Obviously, as you can see there, no save file found because, well, I'm just opening up the game, and I figured it would be necessary for me to save the game whilst I'm here, just so in case if anything does happen, I don't have to go through the setup tweaks again. So that's important. And now, let's get on with some of the actual game content. And of course we have the credits at the bottom. Of course I'm saving those for last. And just to begin with, we get something new in this game, as of which we get a trophy room. And also to add to that, we get two different types of events as well. We get tournament events and special events. This game basically picks up where NFS 3 left off, and these are basically the 6 main tournament events we have to do. Of course I'm going through each of them, as you can see here. Not going to read through their descriptions because, well, I'm saving those for the actual segments themselves. And one other thing that's added to this game is we get special events, which is something new to the Need for Speed series. So the special events we get are the Weekend Road Racing Classic, Twilight Open Series, International Open Road Tour, Knockout Challenge, the Corvette Pro Cup. Some of these I would like to say are one-make events, the Porsche Pro Cup, the Open Road Knockout Challenge, and we end off with the Endurance Racing Competition. Each of these events do have their own descriptions, but I'm not going to go through each of them because I've already spent enough time tweaking with the game options. So, there's a lot of all new content that's been added to this game. So first of all, we can do a test drive. We've also got single race and hot pursuit. All of these are features that have returned from the previous game, as of which NFS 3 basically is called Hot Pursuit. In other words, the original Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. We also get tournament and special events at the bottom, but one thing you will notice that's different is, compared to the tournament events, we do not get every single one of them. Because, as you can see, we're only allowed to do 2 special events at the moment, and that's until we start progressing through the game. And this does reveal one of those one-make events I referred to just a few minutes earlier. And it is a one-make event specifically requiring the BMW Z3. And I'm also going to show off the cars themselves. And I'd also like to mention we do get a ton of all new tracks in this game compared to the previous game. So the following tracks we get are technically the Land Strasse, the Route, Adomf, Durham Road, Kindiak Park, which is not available. We also get the Celtic Ruins, which is located in Scotland, Dolphin Cove, Snowy Ridge, Raceway, Raceway 2 and Raceway 3. And ultimately, most of these tracks, as you can tell, are locked because, well, we've not officially started the game yet, and if I just press records here, we do get some lap records here, as well as some records overall of the lap times set around each of these tracks. Of course, I'm not going to go through each of them, and if I press continue, I can basically show you what cars we have available, at least in the PAL version of the PlayStation game. So, the following cars we have available are the Mercedes SLK 230. We can also change colour, and also to add to all of this, we also get the showroom view, which is basically displaying an overview of the car itself. So the first car we get is a Mercedes SLK 230. We also get a BMW Z3, a Chevrolet Camaro Z28, a Pontiac Firebird, followed by an Aston Martin DB7, a Jaguar XKR, a BMW M5, along with, of course, a Chevy Corvette, a Ferrari 550 Maranello, a Porsche 911, the Ferrari F50. Most of these cars are available for us to drive, other ones aren't because, well, we need to go through the game in order to unlock those. And the Lamborghini Diablo SV. And that's the last of our available cars because, well, the other two cars we have in this game are the Mercedes CLK GTR and also the McLaren F1 GTR. I would also like to mention this is the long-tail version of the McLaren F1 GTR. So neither of those cars are available to us because we need to go through the game in order to obtain those. And I'm also going to showcase a showroom view of one of these cars, and I think I know precisely which one it is I want to do because, well, since I'm British and I'm technically a Ford supporter, I'm going to showcase the Jaguar XKR. And part of the reason for that as well because it's a Jag. We also got options here, as of which we do also get car options, so you can choose our transmission, automatic or manual. I'm of course going to be driving manual, ABS off and damage on. Of course, I might consider doing a test drive in this thing just for the purpose of content, and now I think I'm going to showcase a showroom description of this car as I mute myself, and maybe if it's possible you might learn something here. So, I'm showcasing the showroom view.
Jaguar's sinuous XKR sports car has won worldwide praise for both looks and performance since its launch. But the famed British automaker is not resting on its laurels. The new XKR boosts performance to even higher levels by adding a supercharger to the ultra-refined 4-liter V8 XK power unit. Mated to a computer-controlled 5-speed automatic transmission, the upgraded engine produces outstanding throttle response and performance greater than its stablemate. The XKR is a natural descendant of the legendary E-Type sports car of the 1960s and 70s and is proving a worthy successor. The XKR borrows styling cues from the E-Type while adding every possible modern engineering refinement. Jaguars have always combined luxury with performance, a tradition that goes back to the firm's first serious sports car, the SS100 of 1936. The XKR gives owners that uniquely British combination of carefully selected handcrafted walnut veneers for interior accenting and top-quality leathers for seating and trim. The XKR is a race-bred car, drawing on Jaguar's historic race victories at Le Mans, Monza, Brands Hatch, and many other famous circuits around the world. You can spot an XKR by its bonnet louvers, boot lid spoiler, and unique 18-inch wheels. But none of these additions detract from the pure grace and style of this elegant new Jaguar.
Also yes, once upon a time I would like to say Jaguar once was owned by Ford. But yeah, so we do get a brief overview of the XKR, And apparent as it might be, I do know, I think 3 of those victories Jaguar took in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Of course, one of them I know was under very tragic circumstances that I do not feel obliged to tell the full story of. But yeah, 3 occasions I can recall Jaguar winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans were essentially 1957, 1988 and 1990. 2 of those victories I would like to say I have seen video footage of. One of them being with the XJR9 and the other one being with the XJR14. Both of them I would like to say are remarkable showroom cars in a museum. And I would also like to say that in terms of when this game was released, well, I might as well give this thing a test drive, just because, well, I might as well do it for introduction purposes. So I would like to say this game was released in 1999. It's the 4th installment of the Need for Speed franchise. First came out in America in March of 1999, and then it came out in Europe by early April, and then it was soon released a couple of months later in
3, 2, 1, go!
Japan by mid-June of that same year, 99. And I did give this game a test drive just because, well, I had to figure the game was working, and I just hit a car. I would also like to mention I do have the damage physics on, just because, well, I would like to mention throughout both special events and tournament mode in this game, you do get damage in this game, which is one feature I can say the Need for Speed series debuted in this game, and judging by what I can see at least, this game is definitely an improvement on its predecessor. In terms of the physics at least, and knowing about how much more innovation there is in this game compared to its predecessors. So as I said before, this game basically picks up where the where the previous game left off, and just giving you a test drive around this track just because I figured it was necessary for me to do one circuit of a full track in this game, and I think the Landstraße probably is the best place for me to do it, because this is technically the circuit we start with in this game, and then we eventually go onwards to unlock all the other racetracks in this game as they slowly but surely follow suit. So, just completing one lap whilst I'm here, just because I want to show you some of the physics, and that's a wall. And even though I was on the brakes, apparently the car just wanted to veer to the right, and it did not want me to control it for some reason. Don't know how, and I don't know why, but the car just decided it did not want me to control it. I would also like to say there were many gangsters over the years. Oh, that's it. Well, I guess it must have just been a one-lap test drive. But sure, whatever.
3,
Well,
2, 1, go!
I suppose as long as I'm here I might as well see if I can get a shot of this thing. So this option here pauses the replay, this one speeds up the replay, this one is rewind, and well, I'm probably just going to be showcasing the replay camera whilst I'm here also, just because I figured this will be the easier way to do it. It's also because, well, since this is the introduction, I'm not really going to be saving anything. And yep, that is a lot of damage on my Jag. But again, I am doing this for content purposes, so, you know, since we're not doing the actual game yet, I really don't care that much. It's also because, well, it's basically in free roam mode, so it's not really with any of the races we're doing yet. I should also mention we do actually get a guy driving the car as well, even though I can assure you the guy himself, the looks never change. But yeah, we do actually get a guy driving in the car this time, even though we probably had that in the previous games also, but just want to check something whilst I'm here. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, never mind. So that literally just takes us back to the main menu. Okay, I understand now. So that just redirects us back to the main menu. But anyway, that's pretty much everything you need to know about this game to start with. The other modes we will of course get through, although I might as well showcase Hot Pursuit whilst I'm here, just because we have quite a few of these. So we can choose between 3 skill levels. We've got beginner, intermediate and expert, and of course we can either do solo or dual, again with the same levels. And just gonna check and see what else there is. And oh, okay. Oh, so it literally just takes us over to the track selections. Even though this is going to be something I'll have plenty of time to do once I've got through the game itself. But yeah, so we only have 3 courses available to us at the moment because the other ones are, well, locked. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I need to show you about this game. Although, if I just head into tournament mode, there's one last thing I need to showcase whilst I'm here. So we can basically select our events, and you'll notice something else that's been added to the game, and that is the usage of money. Because this is one thing we did not have in the previous games, but ultimately this game effectively changed a lot of that, because we do actually have money in this game now, and ultimately another thing I can say that we are able to use this hard currency for is buying cars. So if I just press continue here, you will probably notice we get a choice between 2 cars here, and we've got no cars available to us at the moment. So if I just go to the car dealer and press on buy a car, you will notice we get a choice between 2 cars. So the 2 cars we can start with, we can either choose the Mercedes SLK 230 or the BMW Z3 Roadster 2.8. Now, there's no real difference in these cars in terms of prices. They both cost the same amount of cash, but as to which one I'm going to start the game with, well, that is going to be my decision purely as to which one of these two I want to use, but anyways. So yeah, so we do get a car dealer in this game, and we can basically buy any of the cars available to us if we can enter the event in those said cars. Okay, anyways. So, I think that's pretty much going to conclude this little introduction now of everything I've managed to explain about this game. And so next time, we will actually be getting on with the game, as I've spent over 25 minutes explaining all of this. But whatever. Introduction is now finished, and now let's move on to the game itself. Coming up next,